We must take the vaccine. I'm not asking what's in the infusion. I'm not looking up all of the ingredients in the infusion. I am sticking out my arm and I am taking the infusion. And that's what we have to do.
Our fellow Americans.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans.
And soon, they will be available to everyone.
The science is clear. These vaccines will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
They could save your life.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
That's the first step to ending the pandemic and moving our country forward. It's up to you.
I got the vaccine, you got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine. We can get back to normal, let me inform you, let's all get the vaccine. It's about community immunity, I'm talking unity for you and me. If Doc says it's good, then trust me, it's good. Now let's all get the vaccine. I'm the king of rock, there is none higher. DMC, I will inspire. Time for us to trust and not debate. The vaccine, believe it's safe to take.
It's vaccination day. It's vaccination day. It's vaccination day. Appointments are open, I'm group 4. I don't have to stay here anymore. I'm sick of eating takeout on these plates. The time indoors has got me stressed, but I just checked on CVS. Finally, they're giving me some dates. Yeah, I know it'll take like 6 weeks until I am totally immune, but I am getting out of here real soon. For the first time in forever, I can see my dad and mom. For the first time in forever, all my fear of death is gone.
Finally, after 2 long months, Biden has finally given us something that can actually be described as a press conference. He heroically spent a whole hour talking to actual live reporters on a range of subjects, like vaccinations, the it's all Trump's fault migrant crisis, getting out of Afghanistan, eventually, the North Korean threat, and so on. But unfortunately, much of the event was either mind-numbingly dull or, well, went as well as you would expect.
Okay, where am I here? Let me see.
You know those awkward family dinners where the creepy uncle goes off on an incoherent rant? Well, judging by Biden's public appearances, that's what White House staff go through every day.
It's great to be here and back in a place where we tried it in Iraq. It's not working, so now we're going to try. I mean, in Iran. Excuse me. We tried in Ukraine. My physical and mental as well as my mental fitness.
No wonder they try to keep him in the basement as much as possible. Every time he goes out in public, it's either another meme-worthy gaffe or the almost classic at this point.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think it's time for the press, our friends in the press to leave now. Thank you.
But I guess they figured they can't hide him forever. Hence the press conference. With quotation marks because, come on, if this was any more scripted, it would be a Hollywood movie. Biden was literally reading his answers off a gigantic stack of papers. He kept flipping through them and still got lost all the time.
The reason why a lot of immigrants are coming to deliver on the promise to Americans run by CPB.
While many are beginning to see this whole presidency as a form of elder abuse, Biden himself seems really confident. He even said he's gonna go for a second term.
You also just made some news by saying that you are going to run for re-election.
I said that is my expectation.
Yeah, sure.
Issue of reparations in the US has split opinion after Chicago became the first city to pay black residents who've suffered housing discrimination. Authorities have approved a $10 million package, setting aside $25,000 for each eligible family. The money is to be spent on home repairs or as down payments on property. The reparations will be funded by income, incidentally, from annual cannabis taxes over the next decade. But polls find just 1 in 5 people agree damages should be paid to descendants of slaves. And many also question how eligibility for such programs is determined, with race, ancestry and evidence of discrimination all considered in the mix there to get it. We discussed it with our guests.
It's quite an encouraging development. It's quite new and unheard of. It is a first step towards repairing or implementing some sort of restorative justice for a historical injustice that the black people have suffered from.
No, it's not really anything, because, I mean, the elephant in the room here is that this is not slavery reparations. It's only kind of like a housing program disguised as reparations for slavery, because there was never any slavery in Evanston, let alone Chicago, which is the general area where Evanston is.
Let's face it, whatever it's done, whatever kind of financial reparations will never repair that historical injustice that those people have suffered from. I mean, this is just impossible. Money would not buy people's lives back or repair that suffering. It is mostly symbolic.
So what's the point of doing it then? It was to be paid, it should have been paid in slave-holding places to former slaves from the former slave owner or from the state. That's what it should have been about.
What I think when I say it's a beginning, it's a first step, it is a first step, but only and only if people keep pushing and the systemic racism is really challenged, not only in cities or states, but over the country as such. And actually, I would go even beyond that. It's actually a global issue.
Well, what are these issues talking about? I don't really understand what we're saying. I mean, if there's an episode of racism or somebody says something mean to somebody, I mean, does that mean that the state has to come in and pay some money? Does that mean out of my tax money, I have to pay, or some random corporation that wasn't even really involved with it? I mean, this is not really going to happen.
There will be issues, of course. This will be misused. Some will use this as a token and say, okay, you've been paid, and that's basically, you have to shut up, and then you should not ask for more. But I think we have to be realistic. It is not enough, it's true, but it should be used as a basis for a larger social movement that asks for much more at the national level.